Anxiety and worry. Anxiety and worry. Friends of the social, welcome back to my channel, Luca Magno. Today it's a driving video, a video in a taxi while I'm driving, actually on my way to eat, because I'm also hungry. It's 2 o'clock and it's late and I'm hungry. Today I'm talking about anxiety and worry because fortunately I don't have this problem. I'm not a doctor. Just know that when you talk to me, you're talking to a friend, sharing his opinion, who might say something right or might say something totally silly. Take my words, not as an expert, but as a friend you find at the bar that you're chatting with. For all specific matters, talk to a doctor, talk to specialized people. Perfect. Why am I talking about anxiety and worries today? Because worry inhibits and takes away many possibilities. Anxiety. I put anxiety and worry together. Takes away a lot from you. I always give the example when you have an exam, a simple thing, you have a school exam. You go there and you get overwhelmed by anxiety and worry. When you're worried and anxious, do you perform better or worse? No, this is logic. Obviously, you make less. Even the things you know with worry, they don't come to mind. You get caught up in anxiety. And so logically, it's not guaranteed that you'll succeed. Logically, anxiety and worry give you no advantage. None at all. It's just a problem. Just a problem. I'm lucky to be very logical, cynical, and practical that when these things happen, I focus. I have an exam. I've studied little. I've studied a lot. I've studied little. Even if I've studied little, does it help me to worry? It doesn't help. I'm lucky to be very logical, cynical, and practical that when these things happen, I focus. I have an exam. I've studied little. I've studied a lot. I've studied little. Even if I've studied little, does it help me to worry? It's useless. It's useless. What's the focus? How can I pass this exam? Even though I've studied little, what do I know? What don't I know? Let's try to be clever, to manage, to find the right words, even if there's a question I don't know, how to turn it around, to still get the result. Whether I succeed or not, obviously depends on how much I've studied, but I definitely give myself more opportunities. In the same way, I remember once when I was little, I had taken the rickshaw. Do you know what a rickshaw is? With the four-wheeled bike. Where we were going, it was me, my cousin, and my sister. At that moment, we were a bit silly. When you're a kid, you're a bit silly. We went down a slope, around a curve, and the rickshaw tipped over. The moment the rickshaw tipped over, in that second, 2 or 3 seconds, while the rickshaw was lifting and flipping, I realized that the rickshaw was tipping over. An anxious and worried person tips over and gets hurt. Fortunately, you don't die because it's at low speed, but you do get hurt. I, on the other hand, am lucky enough to never be worried or anxious. I seemed like a robot. As soon as I realized the rickshaw was tipping over, I got my feet off the pedals. Get your feet off the pedals. I grabbed on, held on with my feet, and while the rickshaw was tipping over, I jumped out. And I didn't get hurt at all. Well, I held on a bit here, and I didn't get hurt at all. Then I was also selfish, in the sense that my sister was there, and I left her. I was also selfish, but in that moment I didn't really think. It was instinctive. Instinctive, right? While my cousin grabbed my sister and got all scratched up, he saved her. My cousin is older. I just launched myself and saved myself. But what do I want to tell you? Regardless of whether you succeed or not, and most likely, you won't succeed many times, your mental focus doesn't need to be worried. Let's concentrate. The more I focus, more chances I have of making it. I think, but I'm not sure it's like that, because I have this luck of not being anxious. I think that if you're anxious, if you're someone who worries, focus your thoughts on something useful, on what you can do. Focus on what you can do, because what you can't do, you can't do. Focus on what you know and what you can do. Think of me. Think of me. Think of me. Think about this video. The moment you start to worry, Think about this video and say, damn, but Luca can do it. Call me whatever you want. He can do it. Why should I be here with this worry that doesn't help me? In my head, you need to have my voice telling you, you don't need it. Do what's useful. Do what's useful. Focus. Focus. You focus. An exam, an important performance. You're about to take a penalty kick. When you're about to take a penalty kick, you need to tell yourself, no, maybe I'll mess it up. Let's think positive. I score. I've trained my whole life to take this penalty kick, and I score. Then maybe I'll mess it up. But in that moment, you have to be convinced that you're going to score. Focus. How do I take it? How do I want to take it? What do I want to do? Focus. I studied. What should I do? Focus. A relative of yours is having surgery, and you can't do anything. I'm there worrying, making everyone feel that I'm worried, making my relatives feel worried. Maybe you have kids, and you make them feel worried. Focus. You have to be positive for them. I have to give them strength. Maybe my wife is having surgery. My kids are there worried. What do I do? Am I worried too? Do I make them even more worried? I have to be the father, the strong one, right? Focus. What is useful for me to do? What do I need to do right now? Because if I let anxiety and worry hold me back, I'm not helpful. I'm probably also harmful. I know that everyone talks a good game. In words, everyone is great. Then, when you find yourself in the situation, it's not that simple. All right, that's good. It's not guaranteed that you'll succeed, but you have to try. In your head, there has to be this thing. I know that I'm doing something wrong. I'm aware that I'm not being helpful, and I do everything I can to make myself useful. If I succeed, great. Very great. I managed to overcome anxiety and worry. Very good. Everyone can do it. If I can't do it, I'll try again next time. Because Luca is right. Being so worried doesn't help. What I need to do is focus instead. As for what you can't decide, you can't do anything about it. On what you can do, it's better to stay focused. That way things will go better for you. Let me know your thoughts. It's definitely a topic for discussion. I know many will disagree with me. It's easy for you to say these things, right? Nothing is easy. It's not guaranteed that you'll succeed. There are many things I'm not good at. I need to learn. On this, I feel like I can be helpful. Think of me. We can do it.